Well, guys, here we go. It's another day, another review, a stock market review. Welcome once again, guys, to Web Trading. Coach Lord here. We're about to get into it. Today was an interesting day. I have spoken to you guys before about how the powers that be, the people in the know, how they know exactly how to manipulate the market. And today, again, it was very, very clear what happened. Again, if you don't know why the market started out being so bad, so ugly, and what happened, and why the market pushed up once again, you might laugh, you might you know, you might laugh about it, you might look at things and say, oh my goodness. So anyway, if you guys had shorts, I hope you took profit early in the morning. You took some money out. That's what I did very early in the morning. Because if you did it, though, if they are short dated short options, like put options, you got crushed today, based on what happens. Now, if you asking yourself, did we actually have a reason to make that move? No, we did not. If you're asking, has anything changed? Has the narrative changed? Has anything changed fundamentally with the economy, the geopolitical issues? No. So what happens? Why did we push up so high? So while the market was dropping, the futures looked like they were taking. Oil was surging. We had oil above $125 per barrel, um, and the VIX was just skyrocketing, and everything seems very, very gloomy. And all of a sudden, right when we get in the morning, we had already rallied back 50%. That's when I started feeling like something was going on. There was no news, there was nothing, and there was some buying. Once again, as I told you guys, this is what these guys do. They drop things on retail traders because they sell a ton of shares, and then they buy low, right? They start buying low, and then they let retail traders do the major push back to a level that they want to sell at, and then they sell once we get to those levels. This is exactly what happens. Okay, so just giving you guys a little bit more information. So you guys know there's a war going on right now. Um, the U.S. over the weekend has asked for a couple of ceasefires, and now it's coming out that the Italians are saying what this guy said was they had two answers to the ceasefires. It was no and hell no. So that was those two. Then we also had the U.S. Um, trying to convince China and Russia to actually try to and France to pressure Iran into a ceasefire, and these guys once again said no. So since there was no talk of a ceasefire, that's two headlines that helped the market get pushed up. All right. So the first one, there was an article that was written about how Trump and Netanyahu are not discussing, but possibly discussing how to wind down the war. All right. So that alone helped the market get pushed up. That was the first thing. Remember when I told you guys again, if the market feels like the war's coming to an end, we're going to get a push. But what do these people know? Those headlines make every single one of those algorithm starts to buy because the algorithm reads the headline. Is it positive? Would it affect the market in a positive way? If those are checked, automatically the algorithm starts to buy. These are not human beings buying, so they don't know when they are being fed lies, right? So is the source, is it confirmed, is it from a confirmed source, and whatever, and they trust it. So it's not just something on social media, it's from a credible newspaper. They take that news, they buy. Second thing that happens, we also had Trump came out and said the war will be over pretty soon, and he also announced that at 5:30 p.m. after market close, he was going to do a press conference. So a lot of people thought maybe, just maybe we have a ceasefire, we having talks. There was something like that going on. So this is what everyone thought. So again, that headline shows up. the algorithm buys more, right? So these are the kind of things that was happening. Now, why did this happen? As we go into the chart, I will show you guys, and I'll go into more detail as far as why they decided to do these things today, because we sort of had to, and I'm going to show you guys why. But before we get into it, I want to welcome all of you guys once again. If you are here, please make sure to like, subscribe, drop me your questions, an emoji, anything. Your again engagement. Again, last night I want to say major thank you to everyone who participated. Those engagements keep me going. It give me. I feed off those engagements, right? That's first and foremost, right? I don't feel like I'm speaking into a void because I'm not in front of you guys. I know you guys are watching, but I'm not right in front of you. So when you are asking questions, you are engaging. That actually is fuel for me personally. And on top of that, the bonus is it does help the algorithm push out those videos to do even better. So that helps the channel grow, and I appreciate that very much. Empire Path, as someone who's always here, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here once again and always commenting. I appreciate that. You did ask me yesterday, by the way. I must give you credit for you did ask me whether or not the Dow had a chance of reversing. I just did not see it happening. But I discounted one thing. It is not that hard these days to manipulate the market into getting a push. All right, those guys know how to play the system, and I thought they were out of moves. I was wrong. I was wrong. They actually went for it. Even though every single person know this is not what's going on, because Iran says they're not going to stop. For them to stop, they need the US, they need the threat of the US ever attacking them again to be completely gone. And that means the US permanently closing certain permanently closing certain bases in the Middle East. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I don't. I mean, I don't think the U.S. would want to do that, right? So you have all these things going on. The Trump also announced that we're going to seize the Strait of Hormuz once again. Said oil crash because the algorithms see it as, hey, the Hormuz Strait of Hormuz will be open, the U.S. will take it over. How we going to take it over? You don't need to know. We don't have any details or none of that stuff whatsoever. But before I completely get into it, for those of you guys that are here, I want to remind you guys again, I am not a financial advisor, right? This is Coach Lord here. This is me translating what the market is telling me via the charts. This is no BS, no fluffs. We're just trading the charts here. But just a reminder, nothing I say is any suggestions to buy, hold, or sell. If you do want to purchase anything, make sure you do your own due diligence or contact a financial advisor. A reminder that trading does brings a lot of risk, including loss of capital. So trade carefully and do your own research. All right. So now we're going to get into it. Before I even go a little further, right? After the market bounced, so we had this bounce, all these things happened, and when the actual press conference showed up. It was a very short press conference, and what was said specifically is the war will be over pretty soon. And why is that going to over pretty soon? Because, and I quote, we have achieved, we have completed all of our objectives, but the military still have a long way to go or far along to go. These two sentences, it's like an oxymoron. You cannot have completed something and still have a long way to go. So which one is it? Again, it was just made up, and you can see it was just to juice the market because people were panicking. It was just to juice the market. And one little bit of news that I will tell you, the Iranian military actually just announced they are not going to drop any bombs on Israel that's no less than 1,000 kilograms. Meaning now they're gonna start bringing the big guns out. So I don't know how this war is over. When one side is saying I don't want a ceasefire, and I'm going to start bringing out the big guns. So and now there's also reports that they actually bombed Netanyahu's office, not office, his personal home, and his brother was killed in the airstrike, and all kind of stuff going on. Again, so this is not a political show, but I just wanted to give you guys the context of what's going on and how you can clearly see all the headlines was specifically created to juice the stock market. And in my opinion, this is pure manipulation. Pure manipulation. Because right now, as I have been saying for quite some time, guys, the stock market is the last piece of the U.S. economy that's working. The labor market is bad, the housing market is bad, manufacturing is bad, like inflation is high, debt is soaring, housing sale is down. There's nowhere that you look beside you can say AI companies are actually spending. GDP is a little stable pretty much, simply because we having a lot of those companies spending on AI. It's just the AI trade and people with a lot of money that's keeping the economy going. Because as of right now, the bottom and the middle, even the upper middle, are struggling right now. If you even gas prices already high, so this is what it is. Again, so let's go back and take a look right now. I have the chart up right now. We're going to start with the SPY. I want to show you guys with the SPY so you guys can see exactly what was going on. So this is where the panic started, right? So we lost all these levels. We lost them. So now what exactly happens if we close below all of those levels? These were all the structural support levels. If we close below those, this is where we opened and we started going down, and that's when those news started coming out. All right, well, not news, those headlines, what I call the manipulation headlines. When those started going, when if we actually close below this level, automatically the algorithm will start triggering selling. They will automatically start triggering selling. Why? Because we do not have support level here. Support is all the way down at 654. They are programmed by 3 to 330, right? By 3 to 330, if the market is still down and below structural support that has been broken, that they are going to start tanking. This is why that we had to, well, not we, because that was not me, that wasn't you guys, right? This is why they had to do this. All right. So they came in and they juiced the market. Now don't get me wrong now. If you were here yesterday, what did I tell you guys? When the market open tomorrow, do not panic. Take your time, take a step back, let the market settle. If you did, if you did, again, if you did that, you should not have had a bad day in the market. You should not be scratching your head saying I sold too soon and yada yada and all this kind of stuff. I believe today the only play I actually closed today with people in the community, the only one I closed today, I ended up closing it was ExxonMobil. I exited ExxonMobil not because I don't believe oil will keep going up, but because I think in the short term it might give a better entry. So there might be some pain in the short term, and since we didn't have that many days left, so I pulled back on that. All right. Now going back into the chart. So technically, while we did rally, this is the thing, right? While we did rally back, look at what exactly is still happening. So this is our trend line, right? This is our trend line right there. You know what? Let me just remove this and let me just remove all this noise so you guys can see it. The good news is we actually closed above the support zone. We actually closed above it, which is good news. However, if you guys are looking at, oh, did I remove my trend line? Apologies. Okay. If you guys looking at the trend line, I did tell you guys it is possible that we either do this, retrace to the scene of the crime, and continue down. It is possible for that to happen. It was also possible for us to do this, retest this zone, and keep going back down. So as of right now, we're not out of the woods yet. We have to wait and see how tomorrow plays out because we're not out of the woods yet. So that is the problem that we still face. That again, that is the S&P 500. If you look at the S&P 500, we have not actually come out of the woods. You guys can still see where we are. See this trend line that I've had for quite some time. Again, we are still below here. This was a break of the wedge pattern. We broke down. Is that just going to be a retest for us to continue down? Unless we actually have a resolution, I think this is what's going to happen. But as of right now, they, all that matters was support held today. I'm pretty sure there's something else that's going to happen. It's all about buying time. We buy one more day, so that's an opportunity for us to maybe have some sort of ceasefire or some sort of agreement or whatever it is. Let me see. Hey, Lunala, I appreciate it. So what's my POP for tomorrow is the same thing. When the market open, expect volatility. Expect volatility. So when the market open, once again, be patient. Don't do anything crazy. Don't jump too fast or anything like that. Because once again, I believe if there's not a new narrative by tomorrow, tonight there's supposed to be some strikes in Iran and Israel tonight once again. So if people seeing there's still escalation going on, that means the war is not over. All right. And once again, Trump start calling for the death of the new supreme leader. So I don't think this is over. All right. So as far as for tomorrow, right here, I don't know. I mean, we do have a little room for a little bit of a push up. Let me dig into it a little bit. Look at the 4 hour time frame. What exactly are we seeing in the 4 hour time frame? Let me see here. Did we get everything back from here? That's not bad. If we're looking at the 4 hour time frame, we may be able to squeeze a little higher, right? We may be able to squeeze a little higher, but right now the 4 hours seems like something that might be going down. This is what this looks like as of right now. That is something that might be going down. But if we're just looking at the initial move, which was the head and shoulder pattern, I would say this pretty much resolved itself today. It gave the full length of the head and shoulder pattern. Again, how exactly do you know the target for the head and shoulder pattern? You take the length of the top to the neckline, and then you take the neckline. This should give you the bottom. And if you look at that, let's see if we measure this, we actually more than achieved the full length of that because this was the neckline and it was broken. This move was completed. So now we must look at a different move to see what exactly is going to happen. So right now the 4 hours not giving us much. Besides showing us we might pull up a little bit, but I'm not quite seeing something going on, except maybe it's a little premature right now, but maybe we might do a bit of a bull flag right here, do a bull flag, and maybe squeeze to that level, or even higher. So this, as of right now, that's what's in play again in the 4 hour time frame. This is what's in play. Actually, let me just update my trend line real quick so I can see exactly the level we should be watching for. This is the trend line. There you go. We do not have that much room. So this would be my guide for tomorrow. This trend line right there. Again, that trend line starts around 692. If you've told of your computer, make sure to mark this. You can mark that trend line and watch it tomorrow to see whether we're going to squeeze and break it, or whether or not we're going to actually push back down. All right. But as of right now, the trend is downward right now. We are below the 100-day moving average in the 4 hours. So that means we're not on a trending up. I'm talking about like the short dated time. If you look at it on a weekly or daily time frame, we are still above the 200-day moving average. But if you are day trading, as of right now, the trend is down. All right. So most likely, if we are going down, you're going to see a big move, a violent move down. If we are going to see a move down. All right. Going down to the 2 hour time frame. Once again, it seems like we might be doing a bit of an inverted head and shoulder pattern right there. Right. So this would be our left shoulder. This is the head, and this is our right shoulder being formed right there. All right. Now, can we squeeze above that? I don't know. The 200-day moving average is right there. This is the 50. That's pushing us down, back right back down. We'll see if we can actually cross over. But if you take a look at the MACD, right? If you are taking a look at the MACD, we actually crossing up to push up. However, we are in negative territory. When I talk about negative territory, some people don't understand that. They think negative territory means when I say the MACD is negative, they think it's because the MACD is pointing down. This is not what I mean when I talk about the MACD being in negative territory. What I mean by that is this level where you guys see this level right there, this is neutral, right? When you go above it, look on the right side here. When you go above it, you guys can see one, two, three. That's the positive side. That's momentum. That's the positive side. This is when we're negative. All right? You guys can see that. That's -1, -2. So when I'm referring to positive and the MACD is positive or the MACD is negative, there's a difference between the MACD has crossed up or crossed down and the MACD being positive or in positive territory or negative territory. So this is positive territory. This is negative territory right down there. All right. Just wanted to confirm that out for you guys so you guys don't get confused when we talk about these things. Let me check the the 30 minutes. So we are positive in the 30 minutes. However, it looks like we are coursing down in the 30 minutes. It looks like we're getting ready to course down. Now, if we just do this, since this push up so high, I can easily see this do this. All right, that is we have so much room here. We have space for that to happen. But as of right now, you guys can see it. So the red line, once again, that's the 200-day moving average. Remember when I told you guys on an intraday basis, as of right now, we are on a downtrend, right? Because you guys can see it. That's what it is. But if you're looking at that on the daily, again, this would be our left shoulder. This would be the head right here. And right here, this is making our right shoulder. So we have this. That means most likely we're going to squeeze up. Again, we have also to take into account the fact that right now we are right below strong structural resistance. So that means the probability of that squeeze is not as strong. This is not a 70, 80% probability because that move is being done at strong resistance level. It is not impossible for it to happen. It's just not, one of those, hey, close my eyes, take this trade and see where it takes me. We want to take those inverted head and shoulder pattern mostly at support level. Like if the left shoulder was being formed right on top of this level, I would definitely say most likely tomorrow we having an update. All right. So this is the S&P 500. Now, this is what was impressive today. What the Qs did today was super, super impressive. Again, the Qs did not lose this level. However, on the way down, the Qs were very, very, very close to lose the 200-day moving average. And that getting pushed up again, if you look at it, nothing has changed. Let me repeat for you guys. Nothing has fundamentally changed in the market. This little zone where right here that I've had for quite some time, We just went right back in there. We were going to break out of it. They put out some headlines that help us push right back inside of it, but nothing has changed. The market has not changed. All right. So again, I don't want you guys to get overzealous and whatever and thinking this market is about to rip, which is what I'm seeing again, saying, hey, this was a buy in the dip opportunity. Maybe, but we don't know yet. There is no sign that says this was the buy in the dip opportunity as of right now. Once again, if you look at all these different big tech stock, they were all at support level about to break, whether it be Nvidia, Meta, Facebook, Netflix, um, Microsoft. All of these things were sitting right at support level about to break. And if they did not do what they did today, this market was about to tank. We were about to have an actual crash. That was a surprising move. They did it, it worked, and they actually had to juice it with multiple headlines, including uh, a possible release of 3 to 400 million barrels of oil from the G7 countries. There was like 4 to 5 different headlines that keeps on coming to keep helping this thing push up because there was no momentum. It could not really come up. And then right before the close, that's when the whole thing came out about, hey, we're going to have the war will be over pretty soon, and we have a press conference which was about a minute to just say we've accomplished everything, but we still have a lot to do. So take that for what it is. All right. Again, so as far as tomorrow, again, know the levels. The 4 hours as of right now, we have not actually get out of that head and shoulder pattern. When it comes to this, the head and shoulder pattern never actually fulfill itself because we never full the full length of the head and shoulder pattern. We just went to support level, and right now, again, this is the left shoulder. Where did we come back to? Right here, right? So it's not like we actually just got that move completely canceled out. This is not yet canceled out. All right, so trade carefully, be careful. I'm wishing you guys the best. Once again, if you are here, guys, please remember to share this video. If you're watching on replay, I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Keep liking and subscribing if you are not, and click the notification bell so when I do go live, you can see the live as well. Now, I want to take a quick look at the VIX. Now, what is it that is one thing that I tell you guys every single time? The VIX can spike crazily. And this is exactly what we had. This was a crazy, crazy spike on the VIX, right? So this was those levels that we had. These was the levels that we had, and you guys can see it. I had this drawn up. Was it last night? And we actually came and touched that level, and we got pushed back down. Now, here's the thing. VIX once again giving an 85% probability of a down day within the next 2 trading days. Why? If you guys follow me, you should already know the reason why. This is your reason why. The VIX is at 13%. It spiked, it dropped 13% today. So that means we have an 85% probability of having a reversal day tomorrow. This is what we are currently looking at with the VIX. All right. Going in the let's take a look at the daily. You guys can see exactly what happened with the VIX. Going in the 30 minutes, this is the good news with the VIX. Right now, the VIX just is doing a head and shoulder pattern. All right. So can that continue? We shall see. We shall see. But I don't want you guys to forget the fact that we are above the 200-day moving average in the VIX. We are above the 200-day moving average, meaning the VIX can spike. Once again, it may dip a little bit tomorrow and just hit the 200-day moving average and spike up. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I'm not going to take too much time from you guys. Today was an interesting day. This was not a typical day. It is unfortunate. I love when the market itself work things out. And seeing that the market is not getting manipulated, but it is what it is. This is the life that we live. We know that now. We know that. So we must. That is why I tell you guys, trade with the current. All I know, some people say, "Hey, you make so much more money when you counter trade." I don't try to counter trade much. I may do it intraday if it's end of day, maybe at like two, going to the close power hour. Maybe there's a reversal move coming. I'm trying to catch that and whatever. And I even try to stay away from it because the momentum is still on the way where it's already going. So far, the past couple of days has not been working out, taking those shit going down. I'll be frank with you guys. But I want you guys, once again, do not forget it is still POP. No matter what it is still POP. Be patient, follow your process, process over profit. All right. If you lose trades because you follow your process, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. You cannot win all of them. It doesn't matter how great of an entry it is. It doesn't matter how great of a setup that you find. A plus setup get busted. A lot of things get busted. All right. So it is what it is. So tomorrow, just be patient. Take your time. Don't rush in the market. Don't be overly. I keep telling you guys, get in, get green, get out. Right. So if you follow that by going in, take your puts, get your money, get out. You should have finished the day green if the only thing you had in your on your portfolio was some short plays. You should have finished green. But if you didn't because you tried to overstay your welcome, guess what? Those plays pretty much kill you. All right. Well, for those of you guys that's part of the community, I will see you on Teams right after this live. Again, congratulations again. I want to give a shout out to Franz. I should have given you that shout out already. Better late than never on passing your evaluation with Apex for that 50K account. That was great work. I will see. I hopefully I see you on the live because there's a couple of new rules I need to let you know about. Because those are new accounts. Once again, if you are interested in taking and passing futures evaluation, I do teach strategies for that. Contact me, let me know. Again, I'm not taking every single person that reaches out to me. And one of the things that I want to tell every single person, as I tell people, I know sometimes for those of you guys who have known how to take trades already, for those of you guys, I know it can be very, very, very difficult. So if you do decide that you want to learn how to pass those accounts from me, I need you to be able to come in and trade as if this is the first thing you're learning. Forget everything else, every other strategy that you had, and just use this is a proven strategy. This strategy has been proven. I have many, and the if you're part of the community, you know that you've seen the proof. You've seen many different, not the same person every time, different people passing those evaluations. So if you're interested, let me feel free to shoot me an email. That email address should be at the bottom of this at the description of this video. So feel free to contact me and let me know, and we'll discuss on how to move forward. Once again, guys, take care and have a good one. I will see you guys tomorrow in the live. Best of luck. It is the same thing tomorrow. Get green, get in, get green, get out. Don't overstay your welcome. Take care.